Now, the issue is an assembly where a book called The Great Big Book of Families is being read. Opponents say these are issues that should be discussed at home, not in the schools. Supporters say the bigger issue is about tolerance. KCAL News reporter Jeff Nguyen is live at Saticoy Elementary with both sides of the debate. And Jeff, we understand fights have just broken out and arrests being made.
Yeah, let me step aside, Amy, so you can show you what's happening right now. There are a number of police officers right there in the foreground, and then you can see some of them in their tactical gear right now. Joelle Fallon is following them as they are moving in. The reason you mentioned just a few minutes ago, right before our live shot, there was a fight here, and so things have kind of heated up here quite a bit. The police department was able to separate the people involved, and right now they are getting the two sides separated from one another. Bear with us as we're kind of walking through some of this crowd right now. But on this side, to the left here, Joelle, these are some of the folks that have been demonstrating this book reading. And then to Joelle's right, you can see some of the LAPD officers in their tactical gear on right now. You can see they are in their helmets. And right now, the temperature isn't as heated as it was earlier. So it's safe to say there's a little bit of a detente, if you will. Things are kind of cooling a little bit. You can see some of the folks in the white shirt. Some of the organizers are asking their side to move back. So you can see some of the folks in the megaphones here. The folks that were, forgive me. Joelle, let's walk this way. We're being asked by LAPD to move with us this way a little bit, so just bear with us.
Just get this person out
of here. Let me explain to you what's happening. The officer is asking me to kind of move out from this Toyota Tacoma because these folks are trying to get out, and there's a car behind us that's trying to get out. So, Joelle, let's go back on the sidewalk. So, things are cooling down, Amy, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and roll some tape that was shot earlier. It's not from the fight, but just to give you a sampling of what's been going on all day.
We don't want any type of violence. We want to protest.
So our camera caught some of the close calls earlier, but LAPD and LA school police officers were able to step in before anyone got hurt. This came during a parent-led protest outside Saticoy Elementary in North Hollywood. In addition to some of the pushing and shoving, a number of students and their parents were targeted with insults as they came onto campus this morning. However, a large number of police officers showed up in anticipation of the demonstration. Some of the parents say that the protest here is over a pride assembly at the school this morning in which the reading of a book about different families was being read. Now, the superintendent of LA Schools says that the book is approved by the district and that families were able to opt out of the assembly if they chose to. However, there's been a lot of confusion out here. Both sides say that people who don't have children that attend the school are digging their heels in.
I tell them right now, you don't have a child here. You cannot say what my child should learn or not. If the parent who has a child here and comes and says, hey, I feel offended, I can talk to him. But they're here to provoke us.
Have you read the book yourself?
I have, actually. I did this morning, and I saw it on YouTube, and it was very educational. It doesn't tell you particularly about LGBTQ. It tells you about, you know, everything, different cultures, different backgrounds, houses. You know, it's just that little pinpoint that says there's two moms, sometimes there's two dads in households.
So back here live, you can see some of the LAPD officers in their tactical gear outside the school. They are on the sidewalk. Across the street are some of the parent-led protesters. We can tell you within the last 5 minutes or so, the number of people out here have quickly diminished. A lot of people have left, or at least left the front of the school. So the officers basically have things much more in control at this point. They also allowed a number of the cars that were parked right here to leave. So we will stay on top of this and check in with you if anything changes. Amy, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much.